From classrooms to the field, truth and laughter both revealed. Tune in for that special feel. Nampa School's always real. Welcome to Nampa, where dreams can grow. Matt and Tyler on the show. Welcome to Nampa, where dreams can grow. Matt and Tyler on the show. Welcome to Nampa, hear the beat. Join the podcast, take your seat.
All right, well, welcome into episode 21 of the Nampa School District Podcast. My name is Tyler Keefe. I'm the Digital Communications Specialist for the Nampa School District, and I am riding solo today. My partner, as always, Matt Sizemore, is absent. He's actually at home with his daughter. She didn't have school today for, I think, parent-teacher conferences or something crazy like that up in Boise, so whatever. He is not able to join us, although he could have came in virtually. But I'll be honest, he was having some technical difficulties, and I was not there to fix it for him. So I'm just going to throw some shade at him and, just lay it out there as it is, because he could have been virtual like our guests today are virtual. They're over in their respective places. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them on. And as we talked yesterday, we were talking about baseball, and today we're actually going to be talking about softball. So, gentlemen, joining me today, we got Tim Souza from Skyview and Tim Mathson from Nampa High. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Good. Thank you.
I'm good.
All right, so we're gonna make this a little easier for us because we got the two Tims, and it's gonna get really confusing if I just say, okay, now Tim, over to you. So I'm just going to go Nampa and Skyview, just make it easy. I mean, it's the rivalry that it is. So first we're just going to start with, and I'm only going to do this in alphabetical order so that people don't think, oh, you like one better than the other, red over blue, that whole bit, that the fun rivalry that we get in the city. So I'm just going to keep it alphabetical. So I'm going to start with you, Tim, over in Nampa. Kind of give us your introduction, how long you've been in coaching, and what do you do outside of coaching?
Appreciate you guys having me on. This is my third year as the head softball coach at Nampa High School. In previous years, I've been coaching in the club scene for quite a while since my daughter is pretty small. But before that, I was in the Nampa School District coaching baseball, wrestling, and football since about 2008 was my first coaching year. I'm a former Nampa High grad. Graduated in 2005 from Nampa High School, so Nampa High alum and everything like that. As far as outside goes, I have a normal day-to-day job, and then I'm pretty heavy into the sports scene, especially with club softball and stuff like that, and raising my young family. So it keeps me busy nonstop. My wife always says it's like having three jobs, and that's what I do all day, every day.
All right, and then over to Skyview with Tim. Tim, how long have you been coaching over there, and then what do you do outside of coaching?
Yeah, Tyler, it's been this is going into my fifth full year. First year here at Skyview was the COVID year, so spring sports got knocked out after like a week or so. So it's my fifth full year here at Skyview. Previous to that, had some time at NNU, Mountain View, and Eagle. Been my coaching career in softball and my path that led me to Skyview. And prior to that, like Tim, had coaching opportunities in baseball and basketball and some other sports. Been doing that for about 30 years now. As far as outside, it really is a lot of, like what Tim said, when you're invested in softball at this level. Club softball is a little bit of what I put time into, and just try working with kids in different areas of development. Personally, just try to get out and get as much hiking, camping, and other things in, and spending time with families. All my kids are all adult children, so trying to get a lot of time with them, and also some grandkids. So it's good to get a little bit of balance of family as well.
No, and that's good. I think you laid it out there. Getting that balance, that work-life balance, is huge. Now, sports are a big thing with the community here, and we mentioned that yesterday, talking with the baseball coaches about the Nampa community being a baseball town. But one thing that a lot of people don't really realize is how big of a softball community that it really is here. So can you guys kind of talk about the softball community that we have? We have the club sports, we have the school sports, but those really kind of intertwine with each other. How does that work? And I'm going to throw it back to you at Skyview on this one to talk about that first.
Yeah, I think that when you look at softball, as far as the landscape of softball, there's lots of different opportunities for girls, different skill levels. I know Nampa Babe Ruth provides a great platform for girls. Nampa Rec. I know there's some Gals League out in Caldwell. So I think what's happening in the area when it comes to the club scene is you have a lot of coaches willing to step into roles to try to help develop girls at a higher level of skill. So there's just different areas for kids not only to get started in, but also to find that trajectory that they might be on to raise their level of understanding, commitment, and just skill level of the game. And that really helps us at the high school level, I feel, develop kids to be able to come in. And if we can get numbers built up to have a sub-varsity team to use that platform to develop our kids, and then also have kids more prepared to play at a varsity level, especially if we're playing at a competitive varsity level, the ability for those kids to have already developed some of those skills, and it makes it a lot easier because we only have so much time to get those kids on board before our season starts based on the parameters we have to work in. So there's lots of opportunities, especially in Nampa, and Tim's done a great job with the Nampa Pride organization, building a good organization there that takes in lots of kids to give them the availability to jump into that more competitive ball.
Tim, anything to add to what Tim was saying?
No, he's exactly right. To really kind of be involved, when the kids are younger, to help give them the platform to take it to the next level, or be involved, whether that's club wise, rec wise, Nampa Babe Ruth, gals, all that stuff. It's grown. I've noticed that it's grown quite a bit over the last 8 years, especially in the Valley, not just Nampa, but across the Valley. That's when I started the Nampa Pride Club program. We looked around the Valley. There was one, maybe two different type of clubs to give the girls the opportunity. When we started that, it's exploded since then, and the involvement across the Valley and especially in Nampa has extensively grown over the last few years. So it's been awesome because it gives us the opportunity to jump back down to the kids that are much little, 9-10 years old, and get to help them develop, and not only that, teach the young coaches, some of the parents that are coming in, the tools and skills it takes to really improve these girls as they're growing up. So it's been a lot of fun.
Now, one thing that I want to bring up, because we've heard this quite frequently, is we focus a lot about sports and other activities, and we're a school district, we're supposed to be focusing on academics, which is 100% true. But the one side of things that I think some people don't really think about is you have to do good at your academics to be able to play sports. You have to do good to be able to participate in the activities. I know for myself, through high school, I couldn't have played football without having good academics. You have to stay eligible. You have to do all those things. Plus, emotionally, socially, whatever, however you want to say it, without football, I wouldn't have made it through high school, just having that outlet of things. So as coaches, how do you instill that work ethic, that academic integrity within your girls so that they kind of are able to do both and are successful on both sides? So I'm going to kick it over to Nampa on this one first.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really big on student first, athlete second in the program over here. So, my focus every year, and it's almost a year-round thing. I always touch base with the girls from the start of school till the end of school, focused on grades. That's number one. We have state policies that you're required to obey by. I take it a step further when you're participating at Nampa, at Nampa High, and I require C's or above, because I'm huge on being a student first. This is where you need to excel, and then those kids that really do excel in the classroom excel on the field too, because it really pushes that work ethic and important skills and leadership to hold themselves accountable, if they can hold themselves accountable in the classroom first. So we really push hard over here on keeping kids, very good with their grades. I'm always on top of it. And then, it just automatically translates when you step in to the program, because you're holding yourself accountable outside of, the softball world or the sports world.
And Tim at Skyview, throw it over to you.
Yeah, I think it's like Tim said, if we don't as coaches hold these kids accountable for our programs, it's just hard to keep them focused on being that student athlete. We definitely want to, same thing here at Skyview, we want to hold high standards. We know we have state standards to go by. Same thing, we try to hold those a little bit higher. However, we do meet the kids where they're at. If they have areas in school that are just generally difficult for them, we go and work with their counselors and whoever that may be to help make sure that we're not holding them too high of a standard beyond their abilities, and just make sure that they're working to the best of their abilities. I have a little advantage as coaches that are in building, access to the kids' grades. So we pretty much stay on top of their grades all year long. Working in security out here at Skyview, always constantly just double checking grades, making sure everybody's staying on track so they remain eligible, so they have the passing grades and GPA at the previous trimester so that they're eligible to come out. When we get in season for us, we hold ourselves to a little bit higher standard with the GPA, no Fs, and their NCAs, which are no credit due to absences. Any of those things, they are not obtaining our standards, lose game time, and then if needed, we'll take away practice time to make sure that they get the work done that they need. The other thing that we instilled when I got here is study hall time. So we have a mandatory study hall once a week, and that's for an hour during a practice. So we take away part of our practice time to be in the study hall before we go out to the fields. And those girls' jobs is to be doing work and or mentor another student or another teammate if they can. So that seemed to really pay dividends for them to really hone in on being like Tim said, being that student first mentality.
I like the way that you guys put it, student first, athlete second with that. And I think that's a really good mantra. And I've always known that. And it's really surprised me that I've never heard that, put that way. And I may have heard it and I just forgot it, but it's an interesting way to put it. One of the things, talking softball, and I mean this in the best way possible, I love watching my son play baseball. He's playing in majors right now. He's 11 years old. So, just growing up playing baseball. And what I mean by this, and I mean, I can't talk. Good grief, I'm trying to get this out. I like watching him play, but the level of intensity that I've seen when I've watched the girls play softball over the past few years is fun. It's fun to watch how into that game that they get. What do you think makes the game of softball just that much different than baseball? I mean, obviously there's the similarities, but it's just that much more intense. What do you guys think it is about it? And I'll let either one of you guys take this one.
I'll start off, but for me in girls sports in general, the girls and their energy levels, the decibel levels of their voices, whatever it is, they love to make noise and get excited. And if you've raised daughters, you've seen girls at a sleepover or birthday party, the level of excitement they get, that's different than the boys. Boys do it differently. So you see that same characteristic come out on the fields when they get out there and start getting excited about playing the game. I think in addition to that, our game's just way, way quicker. Like the speed of the game, how quick it goes, those tighter bases. If you don't have that energy and you're not ready to really get after it and keep that energy flowing, the game will eat you up. So they have to match the speed of the game and the dimensions we play in with their energy levels. And I think that kind of adds to just their characteristic they already have anyways is girls that just like going out and having fun.
Yeah, 100% agree on that. Definitely, the speed of the game was the big adjustment. I coached baseball for quite a few years, so making the jump from baseball to softball, it was a much quicker, game, and I think that's what the girls enjoy about it, because it goes by quicker. I think the boys can outlast some of the girls in just patience, and then the girls get super excited when things are much faster, and so it brings the excitement level when you're playing, because like Tim was saying, it's such a quicker game, and the dimensions of the field make everything so much quicker to get balls from glove to first base, or even off the bat to the fence. I mean, it's happening so fast, and that's what makes it exciting. I mean, people like stuff that happens fast, not necessarily as slow and drawn out. So I think that's what the sport as a whole is growing because of that.
So we're going to shift gears here to the upcoming season. I know practice has started or is just about to start for you. What are your outlooks for the upcoming year? And for this one, you can kind of take it how you want to. If you want to talk about specific players, just overall, if there are those standout players that you want to mention, feel free. To start over at Nampa High, what are your kind of outlooks, expectations, all that for the Bulldogs on the diamond?
Yeah, so for this year, we've dropped from the top division, which was the old 5A, back down to the new 5A, which was kind of the old 4A, if you want to call it. So the last 2 years we've been playing at the top division, playing the Eagles, the Rockies, the Owyhees, stuff like that. So dropping back down is something that, for us, we've played, the big time schools. So I think we're really seasoned and seen, like I said, the Owyhees, who had a whole bunch of D1 kids signed last year. So we have really high level experience. This year we have three seniors that are been in the program, been on the varsity level for all 4 years. We have a huge junior class that has filled in since I started. This will be their third year on the varsity. So like the experience level that we have coming in is extremely exciting for me. We only lost a couple girls last year, so we're basically returning our whole entire starting lineup from last year. And then we're also adding some key freshmen and sophomores into the group this year. That's going to make us a pretty tough team. I feel like we're going to go compete and do well. We competed at the 6A level last year, and so dropping down and being with the schools that aren't as big of numbers. If you see it's like an Owyhee or a Rocky, their numbers are huge. So I think we're better fit for the 5A, and we're looking to have a really competitive year for us, and super excited with that.
And so one thing I want to clarify, just in case somebody is asking this question, as to why the drop down from the new 6A to 5A, or 5A to what you're talking about, the 4A, has everything to do with enrollment numbers, nothing to do with actual performance on the field. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's an enrollment number that you drop down and fill. Nampa, has barely been over the cusp the last few years, and then the numbers fluctuate a little bit where we get the opportunity to drop down these next 2 years, and then obviously it gets relooked at after that to see where the enrollment numbers sit to either go up or down. So,
gotcha. And Tim, what's the outlook for Skyview this year?
Yeah, for Skyview, we're in a position right now to where we're returning most of our starters. We lost 2 starters to graduation last year. We had 5 freshmen to 6 freshmen playing on the field starting at any time last year. So we were a very new group last year. This year we have a couple of girls. We have 3 seniors, 2 of which will be getting a lot of play time. One that's been a full-time starter for 4 years. That's all we have in our senior class this year. We have a few juniors that are solid in the program that have been involved since their freshman year, and then we have that big group that we brought in last year of freshmen that, for the most part, are still part of the team. Added a few freshmen, and just kind of fighting through a little bit of injury bug with a couple girls who might lose their season due to a couple injuries. Another one we hope to kind of keep going through, but it's not growing pains, but it's just that growth that you go through when you turn over a few years of teams that have had a lot of senior, junior heavy kids coming through, and once they ended up going out, now we're getting the new kids going. And we snuck into the state tournament last year, and got a taste of what that's like. So I like the fact that they were able to accomplish that, and they got a win out there. So now we'll hope to build on that. But it is going to be a tougher division for sure, with the addition of Nampa and Middleton coming into our conference. It definitely is going to provide us more opportunities to play some competitive games. And I think overall, our conference is going to be very competitive. So I'm looking forward to that. It's what makes the girls better. It's what makes us coaches better. And we just like to say we'll surrender the outcomes. Just go out there and leave it on the field and see what happens. So I'm looking forward to a good year.
So with Nampa joining you in the same division, is Columbia also in the same division?
Yes.
So all three, so we can have a true almost NSD championship traveling trophy kind of a situation if we came together and made something.
It's possible, yeah.
We'll play everybody twice, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll have to talk with Will Barber to see if we can get something together, because I think that'd be kind of fun to get some natural rivalries going with that. So I'm going to ask you guys a few questions, some quick hitters to kind of wrap this up. And just first things that come to your mind on these, I have really 2, maybe 3 questions here. The first question, is it easier to hit a baseball or a fast pitch softball?
Softball.
And let's go, there we go. Softball from Skyview.
I would probably say softball. I haven't done it, so I couldn't compare. But I think you probably get a softball a little bit easier.
So we got softball from both. Now, here's the follow up. Then, would you rather face Jenny Fitch as a pitcher or Randy Johnson?
Tough.
Neither.
Yeah, I was just say neither one. If I had to choose, I'd probably choose a Randy Johnson. I'd say a little bit more time to react. I would hope.
I think Randy's a little more crazier than I'd like to face. I'll take Jenny. I've seen what Randy does to, put spirit in people.
I still remember the whatever year the All-Star game was when John Kruk was, left-handed batter, switches to the right side. I don't even know. But here's the last question. This one I want you to ponder a little bit on this one. When you go to a ballpark, not as a coach, because as a coach it's a little bit different to do this because you have your routines and stuff. But if you're going to go to a ballpark as a fan, what is your number one go-to ballpark food?
Garlic fries.
I was going to say, I would say a hamburger. So I always try out all the hamburgers at each field I go to.
Is there a particular hamburger that has the best one? Because yesterday, Skylar Wells said that the rodeo burger is probably the best in the valley. But he might be a little bit biased, so I'm not sure.
I've had quite a few rodeo burgers back in the day. I would say they're pretty good, especially if you do a double. So it's been a while since I've actually sat down as not being a coach to enjoy one, but I would agree with him.
Is there, so either at West or at Skyview Park, do you guys have anything special concessions wise that are like just site specific?
Not on my end. We're pretty generic on the concession side. A couple of years ago, or maybe last year, we were doing pork bowls, but that was kind of as a fundraiser, for ourselves. But not this year. We'll be pretty generic.
Yeah, I think in the past for us, maybe walking tacos was kind of unique with what they would put, because walking tacos can be a little bit of something different depending on who's bringing all those ingredients. And so maybe a few years ago, that was the case. And we'll see what we can create this year to get going. I know for us, and Nampa's going to be helping out as well at Skyview Park. Nampa High and Skyview High are going to team up and host the state 4A and 5A tournaments this year. So yeah, so we'll probably try to come up with something creative to move into that.
Well, sweet. Well, anything else either of you guys want to add in and before we end it?
Nothing on my end. Like I said, I appreciate it. And, on the Nampa side, we're excited to get going. We're day 4 in and progressing really well. And yeah, it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah. Just hope for that good weather to hang on. I hope it's not teasing us and then game time's coming. And it's typical spring weather. So no, just for us, same thing. We're just looking forward to getting out and competing. That's what the girls love the most. It's what us coaches love the most. So we take the time to do all the work and practice and what have you, but really, it really is about the games and watching those girls go and perform and see what they can do. And, if anything, I just hope that we continue now with Nampa with us at all 3 schools, that we can just help promote the participation. Just seems to be getting tougher and tougher for us. We'll be at just varsity team this year, but the more we can help produce the game and promote the game and get more girls and get all these schools having 2 teams and then some, it'd be nice for us to see more girls and families out enjoying softball in their high school careers.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, coaches, I appreciate you guys coming on, taking time out of your day to join us. Best of luck the upcoming year. I'm excited to get out there this spring. I was going to say this fall, good grief. And, watch the girls play. I'm excited to get out to all 3 of the schools now that, it really is spring and it's Idaho. I did read a report that it might actually snow tonight, which, who knows what that's going to look like. It'll probably actually end up being nothing. But who knows, but I'm excited to see it. Let's get that city trophy figured out. I'm going to go talk to Will right after this, since his office is right down the hall from me. And then we'll get something figured out for sure. So again, thank you so much. And thank you everybody for tuning in to, again, this was episode 21 of the Nampa School District Podcast. Kind of foreshadow what's coming up next. We have our track coaches joining us tomorrow. So until tomorrow, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.